I have had so many of you in my inbox on Instagram ask me about this. Somebody did reach out to me and I answered their message and they said, please can you talk about the Charlotte Tilbury dupe thing? And I was on vacation at this point, so I was like, what are you talking about? And then they linked me to a video by a YouTuber called Jen Phelps who dives into this situation. I stopped myself watching the whole thing, but I will go back to it after recording this because I didn't want to sway my brain, my mind, and I wasn't fully aware of the whole situation just yet. So I will link that video down below as well, just so you get some points of views from different people for it. From what I did watch of Jen's video, I do have a feeling we are going to have a lot of the same or similar opinions. You all know my opinions on duping anyway, and the way brands do it. KBeauty. I'm going to be doing my makeup as I do this. I'm going to be using my collection, my divination palette with Blend Bunny, my baby, my lashes, and of course my purple gloss balm. And I'm also going to use, I've just been craving the Hindash highlighter, so I'm going to be using that as well today. I'm wearing a bit of foundation and eye primer already. So let's talk about it. Basically, there's been a bit of discourse recently around one of Charlotte Tilbury's most recent marketing campaigns, right? So we're going to be mentioning dupes a lot through this video, right? I may call them dupes, I may call them dupes. It depends. My accent changes sometimes. Here is my general feeling towards brands duping other brands. I personally don't mind them when they aren't just straight up copies. So as long as it's not a brand just straight up copying the packaging and then just whacking their logo on it. If you can walk into a store and the original and the dupe are next to each other and it's easy to differentiate I don't know why I attempt to say that word, which one's which. If it's easy to do so, then you're all good. If at a quick first glance, it's not easy to do so, then I think you've gone too far and you're just straight up copying. That's packaging. In terms of product, I think there are a lot of the same product anyway. Grippy primers, for example. Who doesn't do a grippy primer right now? But I do think like duping culture has ruined creativity from brands because I feel like brands come out with everything the same over and over again. And I did a whole video on this as well, like brands just copying each other and how boring it is. One person will do a grippy primer and the next person will do it. And then 10 other brands will do it. A brand will do a hydrating primer. Then another 10 brands do it. You know, it's getting a little bit boring. It's getting a little bit samey. Not every brand has to have every kind of something. You know what I mean? Every option. I know they want to make money, but concentrate on making your products the best they can be, the ones you already have, you know? I'm just gonna do a natural look because I want to try on a black lip trio. I might show you that at the end of the video for a reel on Instagram, so I just want a neutral eye. And you know what? I feel like there's fair competition to a point where luxury brands, there are just some people who will not use luxury brands, who don't have the money or want to spend the money on luxury brands. So I think there is fair competition, and then I think there is unfair competition. Again, I touched on that in a few different videos. I don't want to keep repeating myself for everyone who watches my videos, but it's good to have an affordable version of something and then something that is a little bit more higher end. So understandably, brands will get upset at some of these dupes, right? We can't really expect that they wouldn't be. It takes a lot of effort and money to think of, develop and manufacture a product, right? It's their idea, they come up with it. So understandably, seeing something being copied might not be the best feeling. What we don't usually see though are the brands coming out and being very vocal about it, you know? And we're not talking about small businesses. And that's another thing with dupes. I feel like you should aim up, not down, shoot up, not down. So like if Charlotte Tilbury, for example, duped like a small indie brand, then it'll be like, no, don't do that. You know what I mean? But Charlotte Tilbury aren't about to lose millions because a small brand has copied them, but vice versa probably would. But we're not talking about those small indie brands, right? We're talking about huge, high-end brands like Pat McGrath Labs, Natasha Denona, NARS, or even Dior. Take a look.
Okay, ready? Hi darlings, I'm Charlotte Tilbury. I have been a makeup artist for over 30 years, and I have had the privilege and the honor of working with some of the most incredible celebrities and models on some of the biggest red carpets, fashion shows, as well as some of the most iconic magazine covers. 11 years ago, I created my award-winning brand and revolutionized the beauty industry to bottle my beauty secrets and share their confidence-boosting power with everyone everywhere. The whole purpose of my brand is to make you look and feel like the most confident, beautiful version of yourself. So many brands, my darling, have tried to copy it, but darling, you can't fake that Tilbury feeling. They do not have my expertise, my science, or my premium quality ingredients. I invest in next generation, performance-driven, patented formulas in makeup, skincare, and fragrance. And I test them in dermatological and clinical trials on hundreds of skin tones. There are so many rigorous standards that have to be met. That's why they perform like nothing else on the market. It became an instant game changer. It's legendary for a reason.
And this was the initial video that was put out on the website too. I'm not really sure what's going on in that video, to be honest with you. She's making some points about her history, her credentials within the makeup industry, which, listen, she's an iconic person within the makeup industry. Absolutely. She's done amazing, amazing work. And she does also talk about, you know, her brand being like legendary and iconic. Legendary, I don't think it's been around yet to be off legend. You know what I mean? And she mentions in there as well that she revolutionized the beauty industry. I have to say something. Okay, as a individual, I don't like her products for me. As a professional makeup artist who would work on people, I also maybe wouldn't use too many of her products, especially complexion. I find her complexion products quite rich. It's almost like the creme de la mer of makeup. You know what I mean? Like, the formulas are rich. If the way it sits on the skin is a certain way, I'm just not a fan. Her brand has gained popularity through social media. Whether or not that means, you know, it's incredible, it's amazing, is a different story altogether. I think what the brand have done quite well is their social media game. The way they interact with influencers makes people want to use the brand and say really positive things about it, so they can either get shared or meet Charlotte Tilbury or, you know what, this kind of stuff. Listen, don't get me wrong. Charlotte Tilbury, of course, legend, absolute legend in the makeup industry, sure. Is the brand as good as people make out? In my opinion, not so much. But then there's people that love it. But there's also this thing that always goes around it. So it's like, has anyone seen people who isn't an influencer rave about Charlotte Tilbury? I haven't. I know people in my personal life that have tried Charlotte Tilbury products and just didn't get on with them. I don't know of anyone, and some of you may say in the comments, you know, for you, a Charlotte Tilbury product is a go-to and a must-have, but I don't know anyone in my personal life. Bear in mind, I know many makeup artists, like professional makeup artists and people who aren't, who say that Charlotte Tilbury is a staple for them or for their kids. Something I find that Charlotte Tilbury says a lot is always like she's bottling her secrets. And that's like, you know, with a magic cream, when a magic cream came out, she was like, it's something she used to use backstage, and models would ask about it, and you know, things like this, which is, it's like one of those stories that a brand needs to make up about how MAC used to make their lipsticks and models were stealing them, so they were like, oh, maybe we should sell them. It's like that kind of vibe. But she does mention that quite often, like, it's not something you can bottle. It's that Charlotte Tilbury magic. She talks about her scientists like, you know, it's some kind of, I don't know, she almost makes the whole thing seem like magic, like she's a magician, where really it's not that. It's not that amazing. I do think years in the industry does correlate to how you make products and what you think is going to work, but I do have to say, not pinning them against each other at all or anything like that, but a brand like, let's say, Lisa Eldridge, which I can actually see professionals using, versus something like the whole brand, versus something like Charlotte Tilbury, where perhaps you would be comfortable using one or two. I would see Lisa Eldridge more as a brand that people are actually using professionally. I just find Charlotte Tilbury products, the best way I can describe them is unstable. I think from that whole video, what I got from that, the key points that she wants us to take away is she's been doing makeup for a really long time, so we should trust her more than anyone. Not anyone, you know, people in the makeup industry. The way she comes up with products is very different and unique and something new. She's calling her brand iconic, legendary. Is Charlotte Tilbury herself iconic and legendary? Whether you like her or not, yes, she is. Will the brand stand the test of time? That's something I question. I understand the ad, and I actually don't think, to be honest with you, it's as aggressive as some of you are making out to me in my DMs. I don't think it's as... I was actually expecting something... That's the first time I've seen it. I was expecting something really rude, like really aggressive and like everyone's shit except me. That's what I was expecting. Although she did, maybe I need to watch it again. Let me just watch this in my own time. 1 second. Okay, let's touch on that. Okay, so she says at one point in this video, bottle her beauty secrets for everyone everywhere. Here's the deal. Not everyone has Charlotte Tilbury money. Not everyone everywhere has Charlotte Tilbury money. So dupes exist because people want that confidence that apparently you get from these products. But not everyone has Charlotte Tilbury money. So that's one point I wanted to bring up there. She also says they do not have my expertise, which I would say yes when it comes to makeup artistry, but perhaps when it comes to product development, there are probably brands out there that have more expertise than the Charlotte Tilbury brand or whoever's making the products for her, right? Fact. Because there's better products. And do remember, as I say this, you know, different things work for different people. So just because I'm saying I don't like Charlotte Tilbury products doesn't mean that you can't or you shouldn't use them or anything like that. I know that's basic knowledge, but some people would defend things with their life. Oh yeah, that was it. Nothing like it on the market. There are, and there are some things that perform better, I have to be honest. But again, that's just me. That's just me. Some of you may love, you know. So although she is technically in this video talking about all her products here, in general, we all know this is mainly aimed at the Hollywood flawless filter dupes. She did also win a lawsuit back in 2019 against Audi, yeah, after they copied her Film Star Bronze and Glow palette, which is great. I mean, if it goes beyond the law, do it. Sue people. And just in case you haven't seen them, some of them do have suspiciously close names or like the signature rose gold lid, so totally understandable, you know what I mean? For example, you have this one from Makeup Revolution, who are like just terrible as a brand, who have made this dupe, which is their Skin Glow, which is from their XX Revolution line, which is like whatever. It's hard to keep up with all their different brands within the brand. This foundation smells like Pirates of the Caribbean. The Ride, that's crazy. And then you have Revolution again, Fix and Glow. You have, of course, Else Halo Glow Liquid Filter, and Emco, the most notorious one, which, see, this is too far for me. This is like, calm the fuck down. But here's the deal. You can tell the difference between this one. You can tell the difference between this Revolution one. You can tell the difference between this Catrice one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Versus the Charlotte Tilbury one. Whereas this Emco one, you would look at that very briefly, very quickly, and I think that's Charlotte Tilbury. That's where I'm like, no, you better stop. Fun fact as well, Elf's Formula actually has about 70% of the same formulation. She also put out this statement on her website. Okay, let me read this to you. Oh, okay. Where's my blush? Let me do blush. We're gonna use the Fui Pudding Pots in Faded. My favorite shade from them. I'm gonna use a brush while I read this out to you. Charlotte has been disrupting the beauty industry and breaking records from day one. Innovating beauty secrets that have revolutionized the beauty industry and become legendary. I want to know which one she thinks revolutionized something. She has worked as a makeup artist for supermodels and stars on every red carpet runway and magazine, and everyone everywhere wants to steal her beauty secrets. It's why Charlotte Tilbury is one of the most attempted duped brands in the world. Sorry, darlings, but Charlotte Tilbury is undupable. Why? Charlotte has bottled her 33 years of artistry and expertise into easy-to-use, innovative formulas. Charlotte puts skin first, working with world-leading scientists to supercharge each of her makeup and skincare products with science-backed, skin-loving ingredients to create high-performance formulas that are suitable for all skin types. Charlotte ensures every single product goes through rigorous testing. She will not launch a formula unless it is perfect. And all Charlotte Tilbury products have been cruelty-free since launch in 2013. Then there's the incomparable Tilbury feeling. Charlotte makes everyone feel like they are the most beautiful, confident versions of themselves, bottling Hollywood light tricks and real-life social media filter effects to enhance and amplify your natural beauty. It's magic that cannot be duped. They can try, but you cannot deny. Nothing compares to the original. So they're really going for this whole thing that Charlotte has basically worked everywhere important, right? Every runway, every something. Supermodels and stars on every red carpet runway and magazine. Okay, so fine, that's a good point because you get to know all skin tones, all skin, a lot of different skin types depending on the models you're working on. Very rarely does an editorial makeup artist get to work on maturer skin, for example. Now they do, not back in the day, but I'm sure Charlotte Tilbury knows exactly what she's doing on maturer skin. Okay, point 2 is beauty secrets, right? The beauty secrets is makeup. Is that makeup? Although her first product was the magic cream that she mixed together herself and then went on to recreate it as her own like formula, her position in a company like focuses around marketing and ideas, not formulation. So actually these aren't necessarily her formulas. And I said again in another video about Charlotte Tilbury, this like, my magic cream. It's like, well, if you were, what you use backstage, if you were mixing together your own cream, fine, whatever. But when it comes to the market, selling it, you would have to obviously legally make sure you're not actually using someone else's product that you've mixed together. If you are making your own product from scratch, you have to make sure that has the correct things in it, preservatives, stuff like that, which I'm sure wasn't going into a product that you were mixing yourself, unless you're a cosmetic chemist. And she also goes on to say it's undupable, which we know isn't the case because quite literally happened. So I'm just leaning forward to get a sponge. And listen, no one expects a dupe to be 100% exactly the same, because then it would just be the same product repackaged, right? No one expects that. Everyone oh, I didn't put concealer on. When you buy a dupe, you don't expect it to be exactly the same, right? Because otherwise it would just be the same product rebottled, and that would be illegal. But it has been duped, and it has been duped really well, and people just expect it to have similar results. And this is where it gets really interesting with the message that the brand are putting out, right? Just this point, every single product goes through rigorous testing. She will not launch a formula unless it's perfect. Every brand does this. Every brand tests their product. There has to be a few different things that happen, right? Although the packaging may be from a different source, not from them, even the packaging is tested for heat, storage, all this kind of stuff. Same with the actual formula and the product itself. It is all rigorously tested. So what's your point? Is what I'm trying to say here. Are you trying to say that no one else is doing this and they're just shoveling shit into a tube and sending it out? Is that the message we're trying to get across here? It's kind of, to me, it seems a little bit insulting to other brands. Like, our products have been rigorously tested. It kind of comes across a tiny bit as insulting to other brands, being like, yeah, well, our products have been rigorously tested. We're not just putting out any old shit. No, listen, brands do the same. All brands do the same thing, the same tests. Some tests that have to be legally done. It gives off the same energy as, remember that if you haven't seen it, the video I did of Cover FX, is it Cover FX? Being like, cheap makeup is bad for you. It gives off that same energy. It's literally not the case. It's saying that every other brand or company is lesser than just because they are cheaper. It's implying that maybe the techniques they are using is just, you know, maybe they're just getting shit from AliExpress and then putting it in a tube. It's just a little bit tone deaf, if you ask me. It is what it is. It's almost like, listen, dupes aren't fakes, right? So a fake product can be harmful. A fake version of something can be harmful. A fake version of a Charlotte Tilbury product would be harmful because you don't know what's in it. It's probably made some black market shit. You know what I mean? A dupe isn't harmful. An affordable product isn't harmful. A drugstore product isn't harmful. There is no harm or damage going to be caused by you using a drugstore product. Again, it's that same, if your product's cheap, it's not good energy. Because whether or not a brand are making a dupe of your product or one of their regular products, it's still going to go through the same amount of testing. And listen, no brand is trying to get sued, right? So they are testing their products to make sure they're safe. Charlotte also talks a lot about like magic, right? Like magic cream, Charlotte Tilbury magic, the experience. That's just brand loyalty you're trying to drum up here. In fact, I feel like if we're talking about a brand experience, to me, it's everything. That's the packaging, the product performance, all this kind of stuff. The packaging feels cheap. It feels cheap compared to the price point, you know? But if we're being 100% real, for a lot of people, the vibes of a brand actually don't matter. They matter to me, but that's because I'm like heavily into makeup and beauty. But for a lot of people, it doesn't matter. She's just trying to play on this brand loyalty aspect rather than her actual formulas. Also, can we just look at the caps? Legendary. Most attempted dupe brands in the world. This is mum on Facebook energy, right? It gives that kind of vibe. There is this kind of unprofessional aspect to it, in a way that if this was any other brand, it would feel unprofessional to me. However, we almost know who is writing this. Charlotte Tilbury isn't just a brand, she is a character. And that's something I think that the brand have done really, really well. Almost trying to make an expensive brand relatable to everyone is having Charlotte Tilbury be this over-the-top darling character. Everyone knows what to expect. She can poke fun at herself for it. And I think the brand have done that really well. So when you see this, you're like, oh, that's just Charlotte being Charlotte. You know what I mean? And she kind of gets away with it. Charlotte Tilbury didn't just stop at the ad though and the website post. They brought out a whole social media campaign against dupes. Again, these are ads. Let's have a little look. It says, the voice in my head when someone mentions dupes.
Run away. Run away. Run away.
Copy, failed. Copy, failed. Copy, failed.
Can I just say, as someone who's tried to try this Hollywood filter product numerous times, I think it's one of their worst products. The idea is good. Here's what this brings to my mind, right? I'm thinking, have some kind of like sales results come in or something like that, and maybe they've seen that the e.l.f. Halo Glow is doing a lot, sells a certain amount more than their version, or maybe it's catching up or something like that. That's put them into almost not panic mode, because they make it's millions, right? Billions? I don't even know. They make a lot of money. So I do think it's like a bit of an unnecessary panic. And I do even like when she's like, can't be duped, can't be copied. I'm like, yeah, good for you. But to go this deep into it is a little bit crazy now. Come on. It's a little bit like, I get it. Everyone knows that if one day they want the luxury version of a dupe they are using, they will come to you. But until that person has that money that they want to spend on that product, they won't. And making them feel stupid or poor because they can't afford your product puts them off your company. It doesn't make them feel like, oh, she's right. She's right. I'm so poor. Let me go and try. It doesn't work like that. So we've seen the ads. There's a lot of people having mixed opinions on this. As a move from Charlotte Tilbury. Was it unprofessional? And does behavior like this align with how a luxury brand should be behaving? Is insinuating that dupes are potentially dangerous acceptable? Is that an acceptable form of marketing? Is it fair for a brand to be against dupes in general as an affordable avenue for people? Do we think that it's maybe tone deaf? Either way, there's a reason they have made this campaign. And is it because they are clearly feeling threatened? In my mind, I'm like, not that they should. It's Charlotte fucking Tilbury. You're gonna be okay. Saying all this, I do not think that this is a problem that other high-end brands are having. Charlotte Tilbury has done something so smart with their brand, made it so wantable. sought after that brands have had to come in and give people an affordable version. And I think that's incredibly smart. Charlotte Tilbury holds the power in this situation. They're fine, you're fine, don't worry. They have done something that brands haven't done in a really long time. Whether I like the product or not, they have made a hero product. Their flawless filter, I get my names mixed up, I'm dyslexic, is their hero product, meaning that brand is known for that product. They have created something that someone hasn't before, and it's a hero product. Do I think it's iconic? No. And that might be because so many people have duped it that it's made it not as unique, right? Back in the day, Fix Plus, an iconic product, because at the time, not many people had something like that. Not other brands are doing like that. That's just the climate now in beauty. But then I do think that brands have gone too far duping. Brands, I mean one in particular, and that is, well, two, that is Revolution, Makeup Revolution, with some products, not necessarily Charlotte Tilbury, and KBeauty have taken it too far. There should be a line. I don't think that Charlotte Tilbury as a brand, not as a person, has thought about this in terms of welcoming in the people that use the dupes, right? They are the people that you should be targeting. They could ask for it for their birthday, for Christmas. They can save some money, but you need to let them know that the brand is there for them when they are ready. Not shame them because they are using dupes and it's not good enough. Your makeup, your primer, your blush is not good enough, is what I get from this. Do I think they should have said nothing at all? No, because I actually think with Charlotte Tilbury herself, the makeup artist, the brand, you know, namesake, with her personality, with her humor that she injects, that she shows, well, this side of her that she shows to the audience, they could have done something really clever and really smart. Do I know what that could have been? No, because I don't work in marketing. But I do think that they could have done something that was clever and smart with this, that wasn't insulting to some people. Do you have any favorite dupes? Do you think that duping has gone too far? Do you agree with it? Do you not? Let me know what you think overall. Let me know what you think of this campaign overall down in the comments. I'm so interested to see what you think. Just while you're here, if you love conversation like this, if you don't mind reading it instead of watching it, please check out my beauty blog, Brushed Up Beauty. I'll leave a link down below in the description box for you. There's weekly newsletters, there are paid content, but there's also a lot of free content. So do go and check that out. Yes, thank you so much for joining me again, and I will speak to you. Maybe I will. I'll see you very soon. Bye.